I left Microsoft more than 20 years ago. I'm not on the org chart, I don't sit in on any meetings, and nobody's calling to ask for my opinion. I get no credit for the wins, and I take no blame for the boneheaded decisions. Windows sucks.
Microsoft has spent 30 years owning every office in the world. Their operating system, Windows, sits on virtually every corporate computer on the planet. It is so dominant, so deeply embedded into how businesses operate that most people never even stop to imagine a world without it. But in February 2026, something happened that sent shockwaves straight through the most profitable floors of Microsoft's headquarters. And the most remarkable part of the whole story is that the weapon used against them costs absolutely nothing. Now, before I tell you exactly what happened and why this changes everything we know about enterprise technology, I need you to understand one thing. This is not the kind of tech headline that sounds important but affects nobody. This is going to affect millions of workers, thousands of companies, and quite possibly the computer you are sitting at in your own office right now. Stay until the end, because there is a number buried in a Walmart case study that almost nobody in mainstream media is talking about, and when you hear it, you are going to understand why the largest corporations on earth are making a historic decision at this exact moment. Here is what happened. Safra Catz is the chief executive of Oracle. And Oracle, for anyone who is not familiar, is not a scrappy startup or an ambitious newcomer. It is one of the most powerful and respected enterprise technology companies on the planet, with decades of history serving the world's largest corporations. In February 2026, Safra walked onto a stage and made an announcement that, within hours, created genuine panic inside Microsoft. Oracle launched a fully managed cloud desktop platform. It runs on Linux, the free and open source operating system, and it costs $12 per user per month. $12. Now, to understand why that number is a bomb, you need to know what Microsoft charges for the equivalent product. Windows 365. Enterprise, Microsoft's cloud desktop offering for large companies, starts at $31 per user per month. In higher performance configurations, it goes all the way up to $66. That is between 2 and 5 times more expensive than what Oracle just put on the table. But here is the part that makes this announcement truly dangerous for Microsoft. And it is not just about the price. When Oracle launched this platform, the first question any large company would ask is obvious. Okay, it is cheaper, but can my employees still use their Microsoft programs? Can they still use Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook? And the answer Oracle had ready is exactly why this is so devastating. Yes, your employees can use the exact same Microsoft applications they already pay for and already know how to use, because Microsoft 365, the Office suite, runs in any browser, on any operating system. It does not need Windows to work. Think about that for a second. For 30 years, Microsoft's argument for keeping enterprises on Windows was always the same. Your employees need Office. Office needs Windows. Therefore, you need Windows. That argument no longer exists. Oracle built a platform where employees log in, open their cloud desktop, and right there they have Word, Excel, Teams, Zoom, everything they need to do their jobs. And Microsoft cannot do a single thing to stop it, because if they tried to block access to Office from Oracle's platform, they would be cutting off 700 million users worldwide. That would be commercial suicide. Oracle is using Microsoft's own products as a weapon against them, and enterprises noticed immediately. Within 72 hours of the announcement, 470 large companies requested pilot programs to test the platform. Within 10 days, one of the most recognized companies in the world signed a contract. Do you want to know which one and how much money they are going to save? Because the number is so large that when you hear it the first time, you are probably not going to believe it. Walmart, the largest retail chain on the planet. a company with more than 350,000 office workers in its administrative operations alone. Walmart is not a company that makes technology decisions based on trends or curiosity. Walmart makes decisions based on cold, hard, verifiable numbers. It is one of the most cost-disciplined organizations in the world. And before signing anything, Walmart did something that most large companies skip entirely. They ran a 6-month pilot with 5,000 real employees, documented everything, and then compared the results head to head. Here are the numbers. Current annual Windows desktop cost for Walmart's 350,000 office workers $473 million per year. That includes Windows licensing, hardware refresh cycles, technical support staffing, security software, and backup infrastructure. Oracle's price for the same 350,000 users at $12 per month, $50 million per year. Annual savings, $422 million every single year, over a 5-year contract that is $2.1 billion. But the money was not the only thing that surprised them. During the pilot, the 5,000 Oracle users generated 67 technical support tickets. The equivalent Windows users generated 2,340, a 97% reduction in technical problems, 0 security incidents, and 87% of employees surveyed said they preferred the Oracle platform over their previous Windows setup. Walmart's chief information officer stood in front of the executive team and called it the clearest business case he had presented in 15 years. The decision was unanimous. Contract signed in December 2025. Migration started in January 2026. And then Walmart did something that changed the game for Oracle in a way no marketing budget could ever replicate. They published all of it. When a company with Walmart's reputation for cost discipline publishes a case study with specific savings figures, specific performance comparisons, and specific employee satisfaction data, the rest of the corporate world does not ignore it. It studies it. And that is exactly what happened. Within 2 weeks of Walmart's announcement, Oracle received pilot program requests from some of the largest companies in the United States. Target, with 180,000 employees. FedEx, with 240,000. Delta Airlines, 95,000. American Airlines, 130,000. UPS, 185,000. All companies that share one critical characteristic. They operate on tight margins. They have enormous workforces, and when they see that Walmart is going to save $422 million a year, the question their chief financial officer asks is immediate. How much do we save? By mid-February 2026, there were 89 active enterprise pilot programs. The combined potential reach was 5.6 million users who could move from Windows to Oracle's Linux-based cloud platform within the next 18 to 24 months. But here is the question you are probably already asking yourself. If Oracle is this good and this cheap, why did this not happen sooner? Why now? The answer has everything to do with something Microsoft did, something they never should have done. And it has a name, Windows 11. Imagine you have had the same service provider for years. It works well enough, it is not perfect, but you know it, your employees know it, and switching always feels like more trouble than it is worth. So you stay. That was Windows in enterprise computing for decades, but then that provider starts doing strange things. They install features you never asked for and cannot turn off. One of those features takes screenshots of everything your employees do, including sensitive financial data, even when it is supposedly disabled. These systems start sending your employees' data to Microsoft servers regardless of how you configure your privacy settings. The IT departments of major companies started filing complaints with Microsoft. They sent formal requests. They asked for real controls to disable these features. And Microsoft, for the most part, responded with corporate statements that solved nothing. 10 million formal user complaints, data protection investigations in Europe, legal departments at major corporations raising compliance risk alarms. These companies were not looking for Oracle because they wanted to switch for the sake of switching. They were looking for an exit because Microsoft was making one necessary, and Oracle simply arrived with the right product at the right price at exactly the right moment. Now, how did Microsoft respond when they realized what was happening? Because their reaction tells you everything about how seriously they are taking this threat. When a company is confident that its product is worth what it charges, it does not slash the price overnight. Microsoft cut the price of Windows 365 by 40% almost immediately and offered $200 million in free migration assistance to keep enterprises from leaving. That is not the reaction of a confident company. That is the reaction of a scared one. But here is the core problem that a 40% discount cannot fix. Enterprises are not evaluating Oracle because Windows 365 costs $20 too much. Enterprises are evaluating Oracle because Windows 11 created real operational, legal, and security problems that Microsoft has repeatedly refused to solve at the architectural level where they actually need to be solved. A cheaper product that still has the same problems is still a product with problems. And to make everything worse, Oracle is not just cheaper. It is technically better in the metrics that matter most to large organizations. Average latency on Oracle's platform, 12 milliseconds. On Azure, Microsoft's equivalent, 23 milliseconds. Sustained connection speed. Oracle delivers 10 gigabits per second. Azure varies between 3 and 7. Uptime guarantee, Oracle offers 99.99%. Microsoft, 99.9%. Microsoft is not losing to a cheaper, worse product. It is losing to a cheaper, better product. And Bill Gates, who holds no position at Microsoft, who is not on the org chart, who does not attend meetings, who gets no credit for the wins and takes no blame for the mistakes, reportedly warned Microsoft's leadership on multiple occasions that the enterprise market would not indefinitely tolerate an operating system designed around data collection and AI feature deployment rather than operational reliability. He was told the strategy was sound. He was told enterprise inertia would protect Microsoft's position. He was told there was no credible alternative. Oracle just proved every single one of those assurances wrong. Predicting what happens next is not complicated if you understand how decisions get made inside large corporations. Every case study Oracle deploys in a sales meeting, like the Walmart one, accelerates the next enterprise decision. Every successful migration becomes a reference that makes the next one easier to justify. The snowball is already rolling. By February 2026, Oracle had reported 3.2 million additional potential users in companies that had already requested evaluations. That number is going to grow as results from current pilot programs get published and shared across industries. Microsoft is facing a potential annual revenue loss of more than $2 billion if Oracle's momentum holds. And that is before accounting for the Azure workloads that migrate to Oracle Cloud Infrastructure alongside the desktops, the SQL Server databases that move to Oracle Database, and every other Microsoft product that gets displaced in the process. The question that no one can answer with certainty yet is whether Microsoft can do anything beyond cutting prices and offering subsidies to slow this down. Because if the answer is no, we are watching the beginning of the end of Windows' 30-year grip on corporate computing. 30 years of dominance does not collapse overnight, but this is exactly how it starts. With the Walmart case study, 89 active pilots, and a number that no chief financial officer on earth can ignore. What is happening between Oracle and Microsoft is not just a fight between two technology giants over corporate contracts. It is something much larger than that. It is proof that no company, no matter how dominant, can afford to ignore its most important customers for years and still expect them to stay out of sheer habit. Microsoft built one of the most successful businesses in human history. Windows became so embedded in the world's offices that the idea of replacing it felt as absurd as replacing the air inside a building. And that very sense of invulnerability is what led them to make decisions that are now costing them enormously. Features nobody asked for, privacy concerns brushed aside, complaints left unanswered, the quiet arrogance of assuming that because there was no alternative, there never would be one. Oracle did not win this by being brilliant. Oracle won this because Microsoft handed it to them, and that is the lesson that goes far beyond technology. The most dangerous monopoly is not the one with the best product. It is the one that mistakes the absence of alternatives for the satisfaction of its customers. The companies migrating to Oracle today are not celebrating Oracle. They are sending a message to Microsoft. A message that should have been sent years ago and that now carries $422 million of annual savings behind it. If you want to keep following how this battle unfolds, and I promise you the next 12 months are going to bring moves that nobody is anticipating right now, you know what to do. And if this story got you thinking about how a single product decision can shift the fate of a $3 trillion company, the next video is going to cover another tech giant making the exact same mistake Microsoft made, and they do not even know it yet. See you there.